Welcome back, folks. It's episode 8 of Hardpoints. We took a little bit of a break. You know, we were enjoying some Warzone. Valorant came out today, got some games on that. We took a little break. Obviously, things have been crazy with all the coronavirus stuff going out. I hope you guys are all safe with whatever's going on with your lives. But we had a little bit of a hiatus from Hardpoints, but we're back. We're going to make this a consistent thing every single week. So I hope you guys are ready for it. To start this episode, we're going to get right back into it. And we're going to talk about basically the whole reason why this show got delayed for a little while. Warzone came out. Obviously, we were blackout streamers for quite a while throughout the last year. Warzone came out. We all have grown a lot as content creators, as streamers, whatever you want to call it, with blackout. So going into Warzone, we had high hopes, and honestly, I'm really enjoying it so far. How are you guys enjoying Warzone?
It's been amazing, but it's funny because I remember when we first started recording the show, we were like, every week, we're not taking breaks, like every week. But then nobody saw Warzone and a global pandemic all happening at like the same time. It's like not only did Warzone come out that we all want to put a lot of time in, but also everything with the CDL got put on hold. So I think it was sort of just a whirlwind of stuff going on. But Warzone's been a blast. It's been refreshing for those of us that follow the streams. Yeah, we played Blackout for nearly 2 years, and I think we all loved it. We all wanted something new, and I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been a really enjoyable experience. I think it is way better than I expected it to be at launch.
Yeah, awesome. I'll go into that. I touched on it on this podcast. Yeah, I did not have high hopes whatsoever. I had I wasn't sure what to expect. I really wasn't, but better than what I expected, honestly. Having a ton of fun with it. I think they added some new elements that I think people are pretty happy with. Obviously, a lot of bugs, some things that they have to change. Hopefully, they get to it quickly, but those things all seem pretty minimal with the sort of cheaters and hackers that's going on right now. So hopefully that has to be priority number one. I just think across the board, right? Because nothing else really seems to matter if they don't fix that. I think that's just what you see other content creators talking about. But overall, I'm having a blast. I really am. It's difficult. It keeps the challenges up from game to game, but having a ton of fun so far. And season 3 tomorrow, so pumped for that.
Yeah, I absolutely love the game too. You guys took everything I wanted to say. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Honestly, I had high hopes, but I wasn't expecting to fall in love with the game as much as I am. I genuinely wake up and I'm excited to play Warzone for 12 hours. You know, if I get the chance, I absolutely love it. Obviously, there's some stuff that needs to be fixed, but it's a game that has so much potential. It's still so new, so hopefully they do the right thing with it and everything keeps going the way it's going.
Yeah, totally. I think I have to say that Warzone started on like a higher pedestal than Blackout did. I think Blackout had a lot of issues, especially at launch.
Yeah,
audio was a mess. So I want to give Infinity Ward and the other devs some time to really sort out this stuff. The cheaters, the audio. There's some big things to the game, and I want to make sure I hold them accountable. But it's a crazy time in the world. I'm gonna give them a little bit of slack for the time being. However, if a month or two goes by and these problems are still super prevalent, then it's I feel like we as a community need to be vocal, because I do not want Warzone to die. This is what we need. We need a cross-platform game that can keep people
free
on.
Free to play.
Yes, exactly. Free to play, cross-platform. This is the perfect storm for Call of Duty that we've been waiting for forever, right? So it's so important that they fix these problems and keep people on the game.
Well, you nailed it with the perfect storm of them doing everything right from a free to play, standalone download, all that. But also, as fucked up and twisted as this is, it also went in line with a global pandemic that has everyone at home playing games. So the numbers are absurd. Everyone is playing. I haven't seen it internally, but I assure you, it is probably the most successful thing for Call of Duty since how many years do you think? I don't even. Maybe close to ever. It's just wild how many people are actually playing it. So I don't even know if I agree with you, TeeP. 2 months, we live in a world now where everyone wants instant gratification, and there's something new around the corner at all times. Valorant, there's always something new. They need to get on it quickly,
for sure.
Otherwise, it scares me.
If this was a normal time, I would agree with you. It's just it's tough because I don't know if there's short staffed or if they're working from home. I don't know what the limitations are.
Yeah, who knows?
If everything's normal, then yes, they need to get on it within less than a month. But I don't know. Things, especially the cheaters, is the number one issue. how many cheaters have we run into?
Well,
I think mouse
some
players
people
is even
aren't running
worse.
into as many. I don't know, because like some people are saying they're not really running into many, and we're at a really high MMR or whatever you want to call it, like with the skill.
There's got to be skill based. Some people don't run into as many. It's simple as that,
Yeah. So I'm curious actually how big of an issue hackers are, like for the overall whole. Yeah. I'm kind of curious about it.
But
I just think it's a different time. I think you can sort of think like Fortnite and Apex, like where people just expect content fast, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to fix things, and the problem is I even think like Fortnite ran into this where they did too much, and then people are like, man, don't you miss season 2 and season 3, season 4 of Fortnite? Like it's a problem, and then it's a solution. It's weird. It's like really weird the way that sort of the gaming industry, like the form that it's in right now, because people constantly want updates, and you have to be fast. But if you're too quick and you do something, I don't know. Then it's like they have to try to revert it back. Yeah, it's balancing. Like it's. I'm sure it's such a headache for devs right now, because the whole landscape is changing. Right, just the fact that we talked about, we have cross-platform, we have free to play. I didn't expect that, honestly, from Call of Duty. I'm happy we have it, but now when you get to that audience, they're going to expect similar things to Fortnite, to Apex, like where there has to be changes. And obviously the seasons were the fact we're already on season 3 to me is pretty wild. So it's just what's going to be next, and how is it going to do in today's gaming world? It's going to be wild to see.
Definitely. And I think in terms of content, I like for example, season 3 is coming tomorrow. Like, what do you guys want to see? I don't know if you want to compare it to other games or what, but like I want more flashy stuff. I want more stuff in the battle pass that I actually care about. I want cool operators. I feel like what other games do so well, and actually what I feel like Blackout did so well, is I wanted all those reactive camos. I wanted all the different characters. I loved it. It was kind of like silly, and I know this is more like Modern Warfare is more of like a serious game for sure, right? But like that's like one thing that's an easy thing to do, and they're already putting a lot of resources in the new content when it comes to cosmetics. Like if they can up that a little bit, I'm gonna wait and see how season 3 is before I give more criticism to that. But like, I need more. I feel like content is kind of lacking when it comes to like.
See, I'm not there yet. I'm not even worried about more content as much as I just want stuff fixed. Like I know you're not.
I want it all, but
I think I'm in the minority though, because I've seen people say like we're 3 weeks in. What was it, like Mad Cat tweeted the other day, like I need new content. I've done everything there is to do in Warzone. And some of the replies are like, mate, it's been out 3 weeks. Like it's barely been out. But like I fall on the, I don't know where you're at, Chris, but I'm in the just fix the simple shit first, and then I'll worry about content.
I mean, I like the content and all that stuff, but yeah, I just want to see them address some of the major issues that are happening right now. That's like my thing is like, I just want to play some games and not have to worry about someone cheating. You know what I'm saying? That's like my biggest thing is like, I just want to be happy doing all that stuff. Some of the hitboxes with the vehicles and all that kind of thing, like some of the explosives are a little bit obnoxious. So it's like that thing, though, like those things for me. If that gets fixed, I'm happy. Like, obviously, I want the content, I want the camos, and those are really, really important for the longevity of the game, too, to keep everything, like, kind of fresh. The Battle Pass, I guess, in Season 3, since it is coming out tomorrow, the one thing I would say for me is, like, I want to care about a Battle Pass. Yeah. I want something to be, like, in the Battle Pass where I'm like, wow, that's actually worth getting. Because I just feel like I haven't ever had something in Call of Duty where I was like, wow, that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever. So I feel like that would be one thing for me in the Battle Pass. But overall, I would rather see some of the issues fixed. But I've been having so much fun that I'm pretty easygoing right now. I'm just.
I think too, like in terms of COD, the way it's always been, I think the first like sort of few content drops are more like serious and acclimated to the game, and then I think as time goes on, I think the devs they get into their creative side, right? I think that's where you're gonna start to see all the wacky camos, the voice packs. I just think that just sort of comes with, is. I wouldn't say run out of ideas, but they open up the box a little bit. Obviously, with like MW Remastered or MW2 Remastered coming out, they're really trying to play into the characters with Ghost and player operators you're seeing in the campaigns. I think as time goes on, like 3 months from now, when it's June or July, you'll have like some crazy voice packs, those crazy camos you're looking for.
Probably right on that.
But I don't know. Yeah, COD typically they open up a lot more serious with their content, and then as the flow sort of goes through the seasons, that's when you start to see some of the crazier stuff.
For sure.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think this is like the norm now, though? Like, are we getting a BR every year? Like every dev?
I mean,
That's what I'm worried about it.
Backwards.
Well, I'm worried, but also, dude, it is crazy. I've said this before. We've talked about stuff like it's insane to me. People will rip on Call of Duty and the fact that it's $60 and it's year over year, but like the sheer amount of content they get in the game is it's insane. When you think about now with Warzone on top of already Modern Warfare, like it's absurd how much there is that they put out every year. But like part of me with, I don't know, with a BR, like do you want one just really good base game where they're going to keep updating year after year with new maps and stuff for the BR, or are we going to have a blackout too? Like I don't know what their plan is, but
the reason I'm worried is Call of Duty's tradition is like we get introduced all these cool, fresh, new features, and we all get excited, and then the year goes by, and we lose 60% of them, and we're all sad again, and we restart, and we do it over and over. Like it cannot happen again. I'm worried about that.
Play and, like,
right? Is it? Yeah.
I wonder if
it might be different now.
The rumors of next year, how it's like we don't really know what's going on, but it sounds like maybe there's some teamwork with the devs working on the next title. Like I don't remember what the leaks were. We don't really know exactly how it's playing out, but like I don't know. Maybe someone will be responsible for the BR and someone's responsible for multiplayer. I don't know how it could look, but I don't know.
Well, I think it's just tough because as like I'm sure like Activision, like, it's just tough. I imagine when like the devs come to them and say like this, we want to do this, right? Like how do you tell the devs who are making your game like, no, you can't work on another BR, right? Like I don't know how they would do that like moving forward. Like, if they wanted Warzone, if like at a certain month, like bang, the next dev takes over that. I have no idea how that would work, but that's sort of to TeeP's point, how I think we lose a lot of some of the things that we love is just because it's like it's dev to dev, and those devs, they each have their own ideas and the way they think the game should be played. And I mean, we've heard some of the crazy stuff that they have their ideals and they stick to that no matter what was successful. So that will be the interesting part.
But a new coat of paint with a new game and 30 million people playing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I love new stuff too,
with how successful Warzone is, or is it only going to be 7 months? Right? Is it only going to be 8 months? Like that? Yeah. That would be wild.
That'd be a shock.
That'd be a lot of resources for the last 2 to 3 years that didn't last very long.
Good point.
I want to know like numbers wise, bro. Like where?
Oh, I'm sure it's insane. It's got to be number one. I mean, free to play. It's got to be the most COD players ever. There's no doubt in my mind. It's free
you
to
think
play.
of all time for COD?
It's free to play.
See, I think I might agree with you, but like that's kind of insane because Call of Duty used to be. It used to be so big, bro.
It's all time. It has to be. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind. I really don't. With
like free to play,
the way the content creators, the way the content creators have been, all that stuff.
COD's been out for like 20 years almost. Like Call of Duty titles. That this is the big. It's just, I don't know. It's just wild.
It's free now. Okay, like I want something a little bit more interactive for the viewers. Let's make like a top 5 list of Warzone of things priority wise that need to be fixed. Number 1, we'll probably all agree, cheaters, right?
Yep.
Number 2, what is it?
Purchase RPGs.
Is it
maybe
explosives? Is that it for you?
Explosives in general, I think we need tweaked.
I agree. I don't know if I put it 2, but okay, yeah.
And I don't know if it's an explosive thing or it's an EOD thing. That's where that conversation comes into place.
Well, my number 2 is rooftops, but that's not changed. How do you? No, I'm not even kidding. My number 2 is literally rooftops. How can you have 300 motherfucking rooftops on a map, and every rooftop has a person on top of it, or a whole team? Every goddamn rooftop. There's a little fucker up there.
They're always up there.
Oh, everyone!
I have nightmares of block, dude.
Block apartments.
Okay, so explosive / EOD tuning.
Hitboxes with vehicles.
Vehicle hitbox. It seemed like they kind of fixed the truck one.
I feel like they like kind of shadow fixed that. But
yeah, I don't know if it's a shadow fix or what.
So I'll go back on the vehicle. I think vehicles need work. All right. It's realistic. We're talking about realism. How can you jump out of a car going 70 miles per hour and not take damage?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. That's it. And when so vehicle tuning. Let's just summarize it all up. Is I don't mind the way C4 acts with vehicles in rockets because they're fast. Like you can get out of them pretty quick and not take damage. But if that is to change, then there has to be some balancing act of with explosives. But the fact that you can just drive, because that's all what like top solo players are doing, especially. You get a car, you get a big Bertha, you drive around, you run people over, and you just jump out. They have to look at the truck. It's not like they're not going to look at the truck. So that is definitely up there for me.
Chris, what's your number one?
My number one.
Well, after the ones we've mentioned, I guess.
Wow. I mean, what else really is there that I feel like am I missing something? I feel like
there's just some bugs, right? Like there's the self-revive bug.
They're getting the self-revive bug, getting onto the map, like inside the maps and stuff, like in downtown. I don't know if you guys have been killed by that yet, but like there's a few glitches like that. But other than that, I feel like it's nothing. Yeah, like those kind of bugs, but nothing else too terrible.
For me, what about skill-based matchmaking?
For me, it's the time of the matches and zone timers, especially considering solos.
Well, also, I don't care about this personally, but everyone tweets me and talks about it in my chat all the time. Footstep audio in open fields can be a little bit easier to hear.
Yeah.
So in buildings, I've never really had a problem like Superstore or something hearing footsteps like left or right. I'm usually able to hear like if they're around me. But so like when people kind of complain about it, I'm like, I don't know. But I will definitely say one thing: when you're running on a mountain, you don't hear anything, and then you look to your right and there's a squad of 3, and you're like, where did you guys come from? You know what I'm saying?
It's like that in Blackout.
Footstep audio, footstep audio could be a tad bit better.
See, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's like a priority audio thing. If there's like a lot of sounds going on, it's like I don't know if footsteps are not like a priority in those scenarios, but they absolutely need to be. I don't know what it is.
It's been pretty quiet when I'm running through a field, and I'll look to my right and be like, "Yo, there's 3 guys right there," and I'm like, "How do I not hear you?"
Well, I saw Charlie Intel's tweet. I don't think any of us were at the playtest. Supposedly, like they truly believe like. In a way, it's their fault, like all the content creators, because when they went there, supposedly it was super loud, and they're like, you have to tune this down. Like, that's number one for them. So I don't know if they really listened to them and just sort of slammed it. Yeah, and now they have to find a middle ground between that, because it's really what it sounds like happened. Because, I mean, we have multiplayer. We know how loud footsteps are in that. Like, right? It's insane. So I think maybe that's what they started with. This is where they ended up. And I think maybe they have to find like a middle ground.
But to counter what I just said, though, the reason why I don't care about it personally is for all the people that lay in a goddamn bush and just lay down. Yeah. If you can hear footsteps in a field from a mile away, like far, you know what I'm saying? Like all those players are just gonna get rewarded for sucking and laying in a bush. So it's like I have not really died ever, to be honest, and have just been like, wow, footstep audio is the only reason why I died and this game sucks. You know what I'm saying? That has never crossed my mind, so I don't know.
Oh, the aim assist thing I need on there.
Oh, yeah. You definitely need that on there.
You need that. I don't run into that problem either.
I say it's just me, but it happens all the time.
Superstore and through the fences. Those are the 2 situations that happen a lot.
See, for me, it's mostly just, it's something off drop. I'm telling you, it's something when you first fight. I don't know if the game needs to, like, dial it in. It happens all the time my first gunfight or 2. It doesn't, like, Superstore, it happens a lot more, maybe because I'm always fighting someone right away there. But, like, I don't know, man. You guys, I think are just much better with your right thumb, so it doesn't affect you as much. Maybe you don't notice it as much, but for me, dude, it is so hard. I mean, I look like I've never played COD before. I'm just like
every drop.
Whirlwindy.
It happens like 90% of the jobs for me. I don't know. I just expect it. I do. I just expect it, and I just go behind a box and wait.
And fences, those are the consistent ones for me. Back to the footstep real quick. Well, all we want is consistency. If they're loud, if they're quiet, I don't think we all really care that much. The problem it happens when you hear it once and then you don't hear it the next, and you hear it one time. Like the consistency is the problem. So as long as it's consistent in all scenarios, everyone's gonna be happy with it. Just it's weird. Yeah. And then for me, I'll bring up the zone timer thing. I think the games are too long. I think the fact that, especially in solos, the fact that I can put my controller down for 10 minutes and be perfectly fine. Isn't that a problem? Like, you could probably do that in a lot of BR games, but like, I just feel like the first zone, especially, those timers need to be cut in half or something to get people to go around the map, but force movement a little bit more. I try and play solos and I fall asleep. It's a problem. And I love solos.
I mean, it's even a problem in squads. The reason, like, one of the great things they added with like bounties and, you know, basically the questing you can go on to, it is the reason mid game is anywhere playable. I mean, legitimately, totally. I think end game and beginning are incredible. The middle of Warzone it could be horrendous. If we weren't at the level that we were and we weren't flying around getting bounty to bounty, I would honestly be bored. There is a reason that 90% of the gunfights we are taking are people on rooftops, because there is no reason for them to leave. They are literally thinking, we have our loadouts, we don't have to do anything. People don't play the way we do, right? That's just what it is. They're just waiting for endgame. If they can speed up mid game somehow,
like
I would be very happy.
If you chop 4 minutes off those middle game zones, does anyone notice?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's just it feels so slow to me sometimes.
I love those zones are. Yeah.
Your combo raised a big issue though. The beginning of what TeeP said, I was trying to make sure I didn't forget it. When you said sometimes you cannot do anything for 10 minutes. The problem with in-game right now is you're rewarded by not doing anything. And why is that? Just because the armor plate issue, which
another good point.
Didn't touch on. Yes,
armor plate.
The armor plate issue is that actually might be like my number 2.
Give me 10.
Especially in-game. Like, I don't know if it's 10 or people needing to drop it no matter what, even if they don't have them, dropping 1 or 2 plates. But the fact that you can invest in a team fight late game and want to fight and get no reward from that, lose 3 plates, lose 4 plates, get no plates in return, and then Betty, Sue, and Bob, who are hiding in a bush and don't use their plates, are rewarded because they now fight you with no armor. The other thing that Cap said that would be good is maybe shifting the armor versus weight, or armor weight versus health weight. So maybe you have 150 health and like 75 is armor or 50 is armor versus how it's 100 and 150.
Right.
Well, it's 250 max now, so you would have 150 and
150 and 100 maybe. Or something like that. But shifting that, because right now it really feels like if you don't have armor, you are fucked.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't have a chance to do anything. And like, think about all that we played Blackout for 2 years, thousands of hours. How many times were you in a situation where you didn't have armor at all? Like,
or you felt like you couldn't win a gunfight.
Yeah.
Legitimately, if you don't have armor, you don't have, like, there was times when your armor would break in like Blackout and you could still win a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can. It's so hard.
Yeah, if they're somewhat decent, dude. Like,
and Chris, what are your thoughts on the whole? This will probably be my last issue that really jumped in my head, but the how you can't climb or mantle certain things, so you get screwed by a circle to the point where you literally can't win. It's kind of, I don't know.
That's just bad coding on the circles. I mean, you just have like those circles.
Well, I don't even know it's a circle thing. I just think that's a collision thing.
Well, I mean, of course, but like if you're gonna make it where you can't mantle up stuff, don't put have you seen the circle in Stadium when they put that Lands Top Stadium?
Yeah.
What? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's dumb.
That's just poor coding in the circles. I mean, that could be fixed in a snap of a finger.
Should be an easy fix, you think, but.
Yeah, I haven't really ran into too many of those circles, but I've seen some clips on Twitter of
it's not like huge
how you're supposed to win this.
The last thing that people probably want to talk about, I don't think any of us have an issue, but loadouts, like, I mean, we've played enough now. Like, do you think the money? I don't think that we knew the money was going to change anything. Do you guys still think it's a problem? I don't know. For me, so when the game first came out, there was obviously you have to have a loadout or you basically can't win. But it's almost like obviously overkill sniping is a big deal. But the way people play like rooftops and whatnot, I don't mind it. Like, I just feels like loadouts are fine.
I've accepted it. It's just
if you don't have a loadout, you won't play fast. And if
it's a
you
different type of VR.
They're not gonna change it. There's so many other battles I'd rather fight than loadouts now. But I agree with you. Yeah. Is there any other like big issues we want to touch on?
No.
I guess I want to give some props now. I want to give some props. The weapon balancing is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe like the weapons are so closely tuned for a BR like this at all the different ranges. Obviously, there's a little bit of tuning that could happen with, like, I don't know, the MP7 with no damage drop off. You know, things like that are pretty crazy. But like overall, from top to bottom, this weapon balancing is absolutely great. I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they took stats from like multiplayer or what, dude, but like, feel free to disagree, but I feel like the balancing is phenomenal. I feel like I can grab multiple guns and feel pretty even. There's not a lot of guns in this game, like AR, SMG wise, where I'm like, some are better than others, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Any loadout weapon I usually pick up, even off someone's body that like it's not mine, I'm usually pretty confident with. The EBR one-shot headshot's got to go.
Yeah,
I thought that with Blackout. I don't know if I've ever felt that with this game. And I don't know if that's like due to the weapon balancing or to the health and armor, which we got into.
Yeah.
Like taking some gunfights. Like I agree. Like The M13, the GRAW, the M4, all usable. I'm sure I'm missing some. Like SMG wise, you can use the MP5, the MP7. But I always felt like with Blackout, no matter what I found, I was okay. Like I could survive. And I don't know if that was because of like health and armor and that tuning or the weapon balancing. Because I always thought the weapon, like Blackout weapon balancing was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like if I don't have an M4, an MP7, or an HDR, I'm losing. Maybe that's just me. Or an M13.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, we go back to the conversation of skill-based matchmaking. So, like,
we're
playing better people on average, so we need the better weapons more. You know, on Blackout, you can grab anything and bop some.
That's also true. Yeah, there's like other. I think the weapons are close. Like, I don't know.
I think both are really good balancing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just one more thing I want to give out. And then I'm going to throw out a disclaimer because there's a lot of people, whenever we're trying to critique the game that we play 1 billion hours a week per month, whatever you want to say.
We love it.
We love it. We're going to continue to play it. And we've been supporting Call of Duty for a long ass time. For those people that are going to comment in the comments or on Twitter or whatever it may be, we love this shit. And we're trying to get this situation and this game the best possible. And we're just spitting out our own opinions. Leave your opinions in the comments, all right? Don't be an ass about it, though. Be respectful.
Yeah, I mean, they could change absolutely nothing besides like the hackers and the cheaters, and I'd probably still play 12 hours a day. Like,
I love it.
I'm going to play 12 hours a day with the cheaters.
Same, dude. I love it.
Blackout didn't have an update for a year, and we played for a year. So I'm just saying, like, well, we're going to play Call of Duty.
Right, man. We're just trying to make the game, give our advice on how to make the game as best as possible. Is there any other Warzone topics you guys?
Should we talk CDL?
Yeah, I know, right?
I can talk Warzone forever.
Same, I know, is what we do for most of our time lately. Anyways,
yeah.
Okay. Let's transition over to a quick CDL L.A. recap. Obviously, I'm sure you guys all saw the news about the CDL live events being canceled for obvious reasons. If you're not following along with what's going on in the world, you're living under a rock. But so yeah, everything's going to be moving over to online. We're going to cover L.A. real quick. Who wants to start there?
Well, I think we just want to do it quick because we just didn't do that episode. That's like when Warzone dropped and the league got suspended, so we just
been a little while.
Skipped that one. But I think it's been so long now that I think for most of us, we just want to cover a couple quick talking points.
Yep.
I mean, the big thing I think is, as much as people ragged on Empire for being an online-only team and Clay being washed maybe, and the young guys not being able to perform and Hook being overrated, they got their win, which I think was the big thing. I think that was huge. I'm curious, like, how important is that going to be for your Hook, Shotzi, and Illies of the world? Do they just get better and better from here?
Well, it's a confidence thing. I mean, it was obviously a big win. Like the Game 5 in the grand final, like it's a little bit scary, but then what Hook takes over. Yeah, it was an awesome final. Obviously, a lot of props to Minnesota too. We'll dive into them, but I think for Dallas, it's a confidence thing, and it's a confidence thing, I think, going into matchups like Atlanta, Faze, and Chicago, right? Because Atlanta still beat them that weekend. They 3-0'd them. Those matchups still scare me for the Dallas Empire because we just haven't seen them beat them. I mean, plain and simple. I will give them props that they beat who they were matched up against. And that's all you can do as a competitor is who's across the stage, we have to beat them. But when we get into like this upcoming weekend, when we're going to talk about Dallas, Chicago, it's still a one-sided discussion for me. And that's what's scary. But I think that confidence that we're talking about, especially for the young players, is important when they're going up against those Titans.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said it on the episode before LA about how I think Dallas is so much better than people make them out to be, just because like people keep saying how they're all like good online, but like the event they did not win, they got second place.
Yep.
Right. It's like, I still have never understood why people have been ragging on Dallas. Like, yes, I think their map count against us in Chicago is pitiful. But okay, I get it. They haven't beat us, but like that doesn't make you a bad team. And once again, you can't control who you play against on the other side of that stage, right? So it's like they won, plain and simple. They beat the teams they needed to beat, and they came out victorious. So it's like I don't know. I think they're a great team. I don't think the online thing ever made any sense to me. I think that was a bunch of bullshit from the start, and I was happy to see him win. I mean, Puke has been searching for that championship in COD now for quite some time,
Right.
It's about time he's gotten one. I think that's a big thing, not really for Shotzzy and Illy, really. I mean, yeah, confidence thing for them, but I really think this one helps out Hugh a lot more than a lot of people think.
Facts.
He has been searching for that for so long. He started kind of getting the reputation as the guy that can't win. People started to doubt him. They really did. Like, people started to say, like, maybe it's him that's like the reason why his teams are.
I
You know what
said
I'm saying?
that
Like,
on a
people
previous
started-
episode.
yeah,
like I was one of those people.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh my
People
God.
are starting to think about, like, oh, maybe it's not him. So to see him get that win and for him to prove it to himself, like, yes, like I can win in Call of Duty, not just Halo and other games too. Like, I think it goes a long way for him. I think it was awesome to see him win. He's a great kid. If you know him behind the scenes, he's a freaking he's an awesome person. So seeing them win, it was nice, and I was really happy for him. So I think that helps them out a lot. Obviously, I guess to the people that will still criticize him for the whole online and LAN thing. I mean, you're not going to see LAN for quite some time now. So like,
Deal
you
with
know what I
it.
mean? So it's like, deal with it. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was happy for him. I mean, good for Hugh and the boys.
I said in a previous episode that I didn't think Illy and Shotzzy were even good yet. They haven't even been playing professional respawns consistently for that long. Like in the entirety of CDL, right? I think they're still going to keep getting better and better and better. And this team has not even hit their peak yet. I think they're going to continue to improve. This confidence is going to help them a lot. I think probably Crimsix needed this win too. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to prove a lot of people wrong. I think the fact that they've come out and it's kind of, he had a fire lit under him, right? So the fact that he's been able to prove himself this quickly is going to be big for his mentality as well.
Yeah. Grim had to prove himself, man. You know, the 34th time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The storyline's going.
I know what you
you know.
That's how those people are. Yeah.
I'm not coming at
If you know Ian, if you know Ian, well, that's how he stays at the top. He creates.
No, I know. It's just so funny that people like Krim had to prove himself again to the people.
For sure, like, he wants to prove himself. So
I know. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wasn't coming at you.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I had to reply to an email real quick. Did anyone touch on like the role change and how big it was for Shotzzy yet?
That's all you. Go ahead, kid.
Well, yeah. I guess you saw. I think it was Dallas Empire tweeted out where Shotzzy kind of talked about the fact that Hook was going to take over. What was it? Trophy Smoke and allow him and allow Shotzzy to run Dead Silence. And like the way he worded it was great. He was like, he even said, like, I can kind of run around mindless. He was like, no, he like backpedaled on that. Like, not mindless, but I can run around. Like, I think it gave him a lot of freedom though to run around the map, be a playmaker. It took some objective pressure off him, which I don't think is good for a new young player in the first place. And he had his best tournament by a mile. I don't have the stats in front of me, but we know he was good.
Yeah, he played really well.
And that was his best tournament by a landslide. So I think, yeah, put that pressure on Hook, who's more of a vet at this point, who's one of the more talented players in the game, and let Shotzzy run wild. And it seemed to work.
I mean, I mean, the Trophy Smoke role is not hard. I mean, look at my team. You have Priesta. Last year, Priesta, Preston, the savior of 100 Thieves. The guy was 100 Thieves superstar, right? You looked at 100 Thieves. Yes, we had a lot of talent on that team. Yes, I'm not discrediting anyone. But if there was one guy you needed to go off and get your entries and be the superstar, it was Priesta. How many times did he do it? 90% of the time he did it. So it's like, now you bring him here on Atlanta Faze, and you look at this team now. Is Preston still talked about? Yes. Is he still really good? And he's still performing? Of course. But like, you're looking at other people now because it's just that role is not easy, no matter how talented you are. And it really shows you, for a lot of people that don't understand Call of Duty and just look at KDs and stuff and don't understand like what role playing actually means, it shows you how you can be the most talented player, but like if you can also have to do a lot of other things on the map that don't make you shine. And it goes like that shows you a lot about Hugh to pick up that role, to let Shotzzy kind of do his own thing. And Hugh is considered one of the most talented players in the game. So for him to tell like, yo, I'm going to take a step back, let you do your own thing because I'm so confident in my game that I'm going to be able to still perform. You know what I'm saying? That's like kind of what Priesta does. Like it shows you a lot about him. And I think like it's nice to see that like Shotzzy, a new young player that, to be fair, probably doesn't understand Call of Duty nearly as well as someone like Crim6, right? Like he's still got a lot to learn, most likely. He shouldn't just be running faceless at the hill and throwing a trophy at it. That's not how you're going to learn Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the slowest way you're going to learn it. So like I feel like that role switch helped him out a lot. I was happy to see him do well, and I don't know. I think overall it was a good thing for that team in general.
It was also like it had to have been a weird mindset thing though too, because on top of it, like he was literally just like he would have 2.5 minutes on the hill. Like, I remember casting multiple games just sitting there like, you can go. Like you can
it's
go.
your
Like
it's your
someone else will
turn.
pick it up. Like it's your like.
Take your turn.
And I think that
I'm
was
not
just in his
comfortable.
mind that like
Yeah.
I have a trophy and I have a smoke. Like the trophy has to be on the hill. I have to be on the hill.
The thing is though, is like,
no,
you have that mindset of only getting in the hill. That's also just a terrible team mindset. And it's going to cost your team. It's going to hurt everyone else around you, not just yourself. It will hurt everyone else around you if you sit in the hill and scream, go, 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 I got the hill. Like your timings are messed up. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like you don't learn the game quickly. You don't see how to push out routes. Like there's a bunch of stuff. So I think it helped them out a lot.
It always, every time we talk about that, it brings me, dude, it makes me think of Sensor and Ghost, bro. When it would kill me, when he would like get the kill at like B Dom, and instead of pushing and putting pressure on the spawn, he just belly flop in the Dom. Like, no, like that's not how you play it. Like you gotta go. Like you don't always have to think about the objective too much. I can hurt you.
And with how talented teams are nowadays, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
You can't afford to have those timings messed up, and you can't afford to have an objective player anymore. That doesn't exist.
Yeah,
because if you do that, teams like Chicago Huntsmen, Atlanta Faze, I can go down all of them. Every team, they're so talented and they have so much pressure now, and you have 5 guys that are all going to be putting the pace on you. You can't do that. And I think Dallas was doing a decent job without it, and then they learned that they needed to change something. They did it, and they came out with a win.
Well, we got way more shit to cover.
Yeah.
So let's get to the next team. I think one of the big talking points for me this year, obviously, has been I thought Optic would be very good. I think we finally saw a glimmer of it, right? Like a glimpse of what we think Optic could be. Obviously, they don't win the tournament, but they looked a lot better with the swap between Dashy and Slasher. I think the biggest thing that impressed me the most was they 3-0'd the fuck out of Rokkr. Like they 3-0 smoked Rokkr. And by the end of the tournament in these past couple months, I think we all agree Rokkr is a very good team, which we'll kind of touch on them versus Faze. But that win over Rokkr was enough to show me Optic can be very, very good.
Oh, and their match against Dallas, where they threw two games away, like literally threw them out the window. Like that semifinal, that one hurts. Yeah, where they just throw a couple of games away, and I think people are like, "Oh, they're veterans. Like that shouldn't happen." I just think that I honestly don't believe that as a core 5, they just didn't have enough repetitions when one of those situations comes up, and it's sort of like, okay, how do we do this, right? When you have a crazy lead and those comebacks start to happen, like how do you sort of react and get back into the game and not lose momentum? And I just don't think, because they have had such a poor year, they haven't faced that, right? So that was but yeah, I mean, for me, Optic just they looked better, but we'll see what happens.
I'm so worried
soon. Yeah,
it transitioned back to online. All that stuff, they were starting to trend upwards. They was looking promising, and then you kind of they're one of the whinier teams at the start of the game, right? Playing online is not very fun at the professional level. We can all kind of touch on that. Besides Clint, he sucks. But
that's true.
But I feel like a lot of those issues are a lot easier to creep back in an online environment, in terms of being lazy, in terms of making excuses, in terms of like copping out when it comes to practice time. Like, are they gonna devolve? Are they gonna go backwards? I don't know. I'm really worried about that.
Well, we also don't know too, right? Like, there's sort of we've heard the rumors. I don't know what's happening with this team.
Right.
Who's playing? Who's starting?
Who's playing? We've seen scrims with Chino. He had to go back to Canada. I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
I would hope not, after a top 4 where you should have probably been in the final. If you don't throw away a few games. And who knows what happens at that point, because you would have had a rematch against Minnesota.
Well, do we all agree we saw enough? Did we see enough that we know this roster can be good, right? We all agree?
No.
You don't? Okay.
What? No, I mean, like they 3-0'd Rokkr, and Rocker's a great team, obviously. Like, I think they're very good. They play my team very well as well. But Rokkr have also struggled with some teams, though. Even like back in Minnesota, they struggled with at the Gorillas. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like Rokkr has been an absolute dominant force. They're a great team, and I think very highly of them. But they had one good series where they looked really.
You want to see more? Chris wants to see more.
Yeah, no, but did you see enough? Did you see enough to think they didn't have to make a change yet? I guess is what.
Yes and no. So from an outside perspective, maybe. Knowing the players on the team, absolutely not. I'm pretty sure I said it on before LA.
Yeah, you did.
If that team doesn't get top 2, I know those players, they don't give they don't care. That is not enough for them. Slasher can get second place, 5-5 last round. He won't be happy. That team needed a win or damn near close to it to see it enough. If they have that top 4, and obviously maybe they still have some stuff. Maybe now there's a rumored roster change. We don't really know what's going on with the team. Obviously, there is some internal issues that we don't know about, right? And there has to be, because most teams get 4th, including my team. We got knocked out in the semis, and all right, back to on to the next one. Like shit happens. We're gonna fix our mistakes. Like if that's not their mindset, I'm sure there has to be more going on that we just don't know, because not everything is public. So I don't think that was enough to keep them like around. You know what I'm saying? Like keep them happy. I really don't. I don't think so.
All right. Well, what was the? We had one more thing we wanted to talk about, right? So just with LA. So what? The tournament that the Huntsmen were at. Wait, with Faze, they did match up because Huntsmen fell short. Now we were saying Faze kind of had to, win this tournament, show they're the best. Huntsmen aren't there, like go on and win this thing, and Faze falls short. Chris, your boys, they dropped the Rokkr, who had already taken them to a game 5 previously. They take them to a game 5 again. This time, take it. Do you think this is a bigger issue with your squad you're worried about, or is this something particular about that matchup with Rokkr? Because you've only lost, I forget the numbers, but it's a handful of maps outside of Rokkr. Like,
5 of them
like
Rokkr,
4,
I think,
5 in a Rokkr.
Like
It's something crazy like that. So is it a bigger issue with the squad right now, or is it something about that matchup with Rokkr?
I think it's about time we start vetoing Piccadilly S&D. So yeah, I mean, that's obviously one thing against them. They right now, obviously we still have some adjustments to make and stuff, but they play that map against us very well, because that's a very good map for us. But for some reason, they just play it really good, and we're gonna have to go back to the drawing boards when the time comes to fix that. But overall, I think their play style versus us specifically, because you've seen them struggle with some other teams, right? And then you see them play us, and they look like incredible. And some people say we've looked really good this year. So it's like it just goes back and forth. I think their play style is very good against us. I think they have a good pace between some fast players and then some super slow players that kind of counter it. So I think they just do a good job playing against us. But overall, is it an issue? Of course. They're playing our team right, and as a coach and as a player and as a fan, all right, we got to do something about it. So obviously we want to keep our heads on straight and stuff. But from the side of my team, man, I said this on the ESPN podcast the other day, and I'm gonna say it again. It's Simp and Abizi haven't lost the LAN series since June of last year. Before that series, and I know people talked about the cave reset and how obviously we kind of got screwed over because Simp was behind them and we had a 40-point lead and we were about to flip for P2. People were talking about it. I get it. I'm not a big excuse maker, as most people know. If you don't know me, I don't care. We lost the replay, you lose the replay, period. That's what the better team could win the map twice in a row. You know what I'm saying? With it was only the second hill. It sucks, but it happens. But these guys haven't lost the LAN series in a while, and as a coach of these players, I'm still new to this team, right? I haven't been coaching these players for years, so to see them lose was new to me, but in a good way. To see them react to how they lost, and I would have said it was a really major issue if my team lost that series and threw a fit and started arguing and pointing fingers, how you know what I'm saying? But honestly, I was super proud of the way my boys handled it. Honestly, I walked up to them after the series. No one walked away into their own corner and started bitching about this and that. They all huddled up. They said, listen, I could have played, I think all 5 of them said, oh, I could have played better. You know what I'm saying? They were we could have played better as a team. I could have done this more. They're all very self-aware of what we could have done better, and they knew hey man, you can't win them all a single limb, and we're gonna get back to the drawing boards and just become a better team. They were super happy, not happy about it, but super. It was more motivating, and it was nice. It was refreshing to see that. So to keep that mindset going into these next online things is big for me. So I'm not too worried just because of the way they handled everything. Honestly, that's really it for me. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to see after a loss.
It was new for me because I've never. This team is still new to me. I've never seen.
There's a lot of teams where they lose and they just sort of disperse. The teams needs some time to cool down.
Yeah,
90% of teams do that.
Exactly. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah,
so I think it's a really good sign. it says a lot about a person, about a team, about I guess an organization for how do you deal with the adversity and how do you improve from it. So it's good to see, and I'm excited to see how you guys bounce back.
The only thing I'll see is I think it's one of those things where, because I think mental warfare, it's not talked about a lot. I think it is important between teams and confidence on the stage. I think if Minnesota doesn't think they threw away a series in Atlanta against you guys, it may be a different game. Like, there are not a lot of people that come up against teams like Chicago, Atlanta, Dallas, and think we can whoop these guys no matter what. But I think the fact that they truly probably felt, because I would feel this way, that you go up 2-0 and you throw a series away, they felt like they threw that. They felt like they could have beat the Atlanta Faze, and I think that changed that series in LA. That is just a part of being a competitor, right? Like, if it's a 3-0 or a 3-1 in Atlanta where you guys look comfortable, maybe this is different. Like, that confidence, because like you were talking about with vetoes, maybe vetoes change. Who knows what happens if that's not a reverse sweep in Atlanta? That's the only thing I'll say about it. But I think it was a big win for Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just have a very established team, though. Like, I think like Silly and Assault don't really go up against anyone and say like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, they both won a world champion. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but that's like, it's.
I don't know.
I've always felt like that's like.
I agree with you because I totally see it, but like we did come back from an 0-2 and but the maps that we won, they didn't throw away. In my opinion, those 3 maps we won, I don't think they threw away, but there was no how did they lose that map? You know, that's why I wouldn't say necessarily that they threw it away if I was on the team playing myself. But and at the same time, we went up 2-1, I think, right? We were up 2-1 in that series, and then we lost the Hardpoint Surge. So it's I don't know. I honestly just think people still. I think Minnesota is probably the most fundamentally correct team, or at least a top 2 fundamentally correct team in the sense of how they play. And I know people like to use the cop out of how this game makes no sense sometimes and blah 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 blah. But there is a way, in my opinion, to play this game more consistent than others, and I think Minnesota are one of those teams that do it. So when you go up against a well-playing Minnesota, like my team, specifically, and I think personally, if I watch that back, I think we made some mistakes. And when you make mistakes against a team that is this good and plays this fundamentally correct, they will capitalize on it, and that's what happened. You know, I saw there's definitely mental warfare to it, and I totally agree because we've seen it so many years and years now. I think my World War II team never lost to LG, but LG was winning events. You know what I'm saying? It's just things like that. So it's
I mean, think about you guys versus Optic in AW. You lost and you lost. You got closer. I just think they felt like we were close.
I agree. That's why. So I totally agree. No, we went into the champ series thinking yo, they barely beat us last finals. We got this. So it's I agree. So I see it, but I honestly I don't want to take a lot away from that. I just think Minnesota's great.
Yep.
Yeah. I know.
Cool. It sounds like we covered a lot on LA. Let's let's move on. So I'm gonna throw this graphic up real quick. Again, we got some roster changes and other things to talk about real quick. But if you guys didn't see the announcement recently, the home series got moved to an online format. Clint and Joe, you guys can sort of go into this more since you guys are gonna be the ones casting the damn thing, right? So
we'll be casting from our bedrooms. And what's gonna be cool if you watch the exhibition match, it won't be like that where I had to observe, do graphics, produce, direct. I had to kind of do everything. We're gonna have our full production team working on it in our ears. I'm not gonna explain each piece of it, but it's super complicated, and that's why it took so long to announce because there are a lot of pieces for it.
It's a control room in the cloud. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. They had to create stuff to do this. It's wild. And I know there are going to be hiccups with the first one. There always is, but they want this to be the best online production ever for COD. I think it absolutely can be. But the main thing for you guys, they put out the schedule and everything, which you can see online and we'll probably highlight. But the big difference, I mean, it's the same for the most part in the sense we're going to have 8 teams going there. We're mimicking the home series that we already had, still having the 8 teams there and whatnot. But the big thing is now since they already had venues pre-booked for 2 days, now since it's online, it will be 3 days. So it's going to span Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think it's 4 matches Friday, so your 4 first-round matchups, 6 matches on Saturday, and then 3 on Sunday. So Sunday will literally just be the semifinal and the final. So all those people that were worried about some teams having to wait longer to play and some blah, 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 that's basically all gone. So that'll be solved. But for the most part, it's the same thing. It's just online. The only big difference, unless I'm missing something, Joe, is that it's 3 days now.
Yeah, 3 days for people that are going to be like, oh, yes, it's online Call of Duty. There's going to be connection, whatever. Advantages, disadvantages, but they are on dedicated servers.
Have we ever had that before?
Are there deddies?
No,
Yeah,
we have not.
like
Supposedly they were deddies built for this.
Wow.
Chris, I think Chris
That's
has said
awesome.
they've had some scrims on them.
We played a few on them. I'm assuming I'm allowed to talk about this. We played a few on them.
No idea.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for it.
No idea.
But we played on them. We played, I think, LAG. LAOG, or the Optic. They're obviously from LA, and we're Atlanta. And we both pinged around 50. You know what I'm saying? I thought from our side of things, they looked incredible. You obviously don't want to get me started on the whole online Call of Duty thing because I'm a big believer that it's a huge cop-out. And I think it's a really lame mindset to use it. Unless you are pinging 150 plus and you are literally lagging where like you have an actual issue, 90% of the time, nothing changes that much except for your shitty ass mindset. So like that's like a whole nother topic that I don't want to go into, but the dedicated servers from what I saw so far have been pretty good. And I think it's been, I think it'll be okay.
We can touch on it in the sense of like, I've gone on the record to say this many times. In my experience, I've been commentating a long time. We've had a lot of online leagues. Typically, the online league results match the LAN results pretty damn close. But will there be some weird stuff that happens in an outlier, positive, negative? Like, will there be a team that performs a bit better online than they did on LAN? Yes. Will there be a team that performs a bit worse? Probably. But for the most part, at its core, it's going to be damn close. So I'm excited. Yeah, people can make excuses all they want. But the fact is this, and please to the community out there, like, don't bitch. Like, it's online. Yeah, we don't have a choice.
It could be worse.
But think of the situation.
It has to be. There's no way around it. So, like, please, everyone, have a positive mindset. Please bear with the first podcast, and players too. Just try not to whine your asses off. Like, no one wants it to be this way. No one paid millions of dollars for it to be this way. It just has to be this way, and it sucks. It fucking sucks. But that's just where we're at right now. We're facing something the world has never seen before. Like it is what it is. So try to be positive, I guess.
Right. It doesn't suck first. Like I don't even want to say that I don't even think you can use that term. People are losing their jobs in like the actual world. The fact that we still can all keep doing what we're doing and obviously still provide the content and the CDL and people keeping their jobs and stuff like that is an absolute blessing. So if there is any complaints about it, come on.
Another way of looking at it. I feel very blessed. I know people.
That's what I'm saying. So like I've talked about this multiple times publicly already. The fact that we're able to do what we do is an absolute blessing. Like all the stupid and mindless complaints that probably are still going to happen, I really hope they don't.
They probably
is just silly to me. It's just silly. I can go on it for such a long time. I think we're in a great position. The fact that we still have competitions to watch, the fact that we can still compete is incredible. So like, obviously we can't do much about it.
For the negative people, think of the whole situation. Think of what could be happening and what we actually have. You know, CDL is doing a great job. I'm excited to see everyone play. I'm excited to see you two cast. Just like before you type some bullshit, think about it a little bit. Think about the entire situation. But yeah, we threw the schedule up of the home series. You guys want to touch on these roster changes really quickly, and then we can go into our predictions.
Yeah, we don't have to spend too much time on it. I'll just run through them. London rated is out. As of right now, we just casted their exhibition match. Shawnee is playing for them. I was told by Scraps that Nasty is, first of all, getting his visa done, but they're playing well with Shawnee. And when Nasty's visa is done, if they're still playing well, they're just going to play with Shawnee. And Shawnee was actually playing extremely well. Shawnee was on one of the better amateur teams, challenger teams, and was placing pretty well. So that helps. Mutineers, I think everybody knows right now, Pristini is out. Pharaoh's in. No idea what's going on there, but that's a
It's a weird.
We'll wait to see what finds out. And then subliners, just in case you forgot, because they announced it like the Sunday of, where Happy was only playing one event because they were already working on Mac Melts to try to sign him. So Mac Melts will be playing and Zero is out. But excited to see that New York lineup. Yeah.
Is that the one that Chris like almost talked about on accident before it was official, if I remember right?
Yes. Yeah, they were working on that before LA, but we just yeah.
All right, cool. So quick little roster change update for you. Thank you, Joe. Now I think we can go right into the Dallas home series, well, online weekend, I guess we can call it. It's starting on this Friday. We're going to throw up the two brackets for the groups, Group A and Group B, sort of go down the list for these round one matchups, give you our predictions, and keep our little prediction game going. If you guys want to play along in the comments or on Twitter, whatever it may be, give us your predictions. Play along with us, folks. All right.
Do it.
All righty. We're going to throw up the first Group A bracket. Here we go. We got the Florida Mutineers versus Ultra, and we got Dallas Empire versus L.A. Gorillas. How do we think this one's going to go, gentlemen?
Go ahead, Clint.
You can go, Joe. Yeah, I always go first. It's your turn, Joe.
My turn to go first. I think one of the other rosters, Toronto, I think they have a different 5-man roster now too. No idea. We never know what's happening with Toronto. They have 10 players. I think they change them every day. I'm not sure at this point. We talked about this a lot of times on Hardpoints.
How many times I gotta roast them?
This format does not help their 10-man roster situation, and that shows. It has continued to show. So we'll see which roster it is, because I've seen scrims without Looney, which
all 10 of them might play. It's online. We won't know, dude.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think Florida wins the first one. I think Dallas wins. But I think this is a very, very weak group. And I think if Gorillas wants to get a top 4 and earn a lot of some CDL points, this is an opportunity for them to do so. So Group A, I am actually going to go Dallas, and I'm going to pick Gorillas. I think they get out. I think they lose the first series, but I think they end up beating both Toronto and Florida.
Interesting. I am going to go Dallas and Florida. I like that Joe. I kind of like that Joe goes on a limb with Gorillas, but I
like what we saw the exhibition. I thought they played really well. So,
and especially, I think one of the other points of that is like, yes, we know that they're young guys. Like Vivid and Sparta performed. They look pretty good on land, but like I gotta think they're gonna be even more comfortable online. At least I would think so. And you also have Blast, who's like one of the better online players. Like that's been a running joke forever. So Blast in his bedroom with his router is a god. So Blast will probably be playing really well. Dude, no, I said that with the exhibition match, and Joe's like, I don't know if you can say that. I'm like, what, dude? That's been like literally. I'll watch scrims or I'll watch tins, and Slash will be like, oh, it's Blast. Like that's just been a thing like forever. Like it's just been a thing forever. So. They could end up being impressive, but I still think I'm gonna go Florida Dallas personally.
Wow. I mean, I would love to know Toronto's starting lineup, so then I could obviously say like what I want.
It doesn't matter.
You don't think?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, that's just.
Man, what are they, 10 points, bro?
I'm gonna go Dallas, Florida. We scrimmed Toronto recently. If that's their starting roster, I think they're going to do pretty well. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to go Dallas, Florida.
Can you say who you played? Just who did you play?
I don't even remember the actual side. But
dude, it all blurs together in my head.
I know it was I'm pretty sure it was Classic Bands, Looney Methods, and Metals. Classic.
So Looney was back
in, or
I'm pretty sure Looney was back. I'm pretty sure.
Because I've seen scrims without Looney too. All right, so we have no idea. So continue.
Yeah,
okay.
We're doing great.
I don't know. I
think two are Dallas, Florida. Joe is Dallas, L.A.
Yeah.
I kind of like that pick, Joe. I'm second guessing myself now.
I'm going with Joe.
Okay.
Dallas, L.A. I think Ultra's going to get bopped. I think the other matches are going to be pretty damn close.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on to Group B then.
Group B. Bang. It's on your screen.
Much better group.
All righty.
Thank God.
Seattle Surge versus Paris Legion up top. Down low, Huntsman, Rokkr. Ooh, spicy.
Well, we're all going to agree on the top 2 for this, right? I mean, I would love to spin this some other way, but I don't know how you can't take Huntsman, Rokkr.
I need to make up points. Yeah. I need to start making some plays.
No, I get that, but like
I'm losing in this prediction battle here. I need to get freaky.
I don't know how I could take anyone Huntsman Rokkr right now with how good Huntsman have been. Rokkr coming off that top 2 finish.
The only thing that's like we sort of what we talked about, because I just had to do like a predictions video. I looked back at both Seattle and Paris, and while they've improved, like obviously Paris got top 4 in London, Seattle and Paris have both really, really struggled with Minnesota. That's who they both got knocked out. They both went 1-2 their last 2 events. In Atlanta, Paris went 0-2 versus Minnesota, and then in L.A., Seattle went 0-2 versus Minnesota. So both of those teams struggle with Rokkr. But Paris played them like really close. So I don't know if that's one of those things where like they're going to get better. Just to give you guys some little tidbits. But yeah, I'm going Chicago, Minnesota.
Okay.
You know, I love Seattle still. I just can't trust their search and destroy in tournament format.
Yep.
I still can't. So it's so hard to go with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I would love to go out on a limb and say like give them some credit, but I can just until they prove otherwise, it's really hard for me to kind of trust their search and destroy in a tournament format. Chicago, I'm gonna go with, obviously. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chicago, Minnesota. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a close a close match with Paris, though. I think Paris might make it close, like depending on how things go, but like I think inevitably I think Chicago and Minnesota make it out.
I'm going. I gotta take a risk here.
I'm gonna spicing it up.
You put yourself deeper in the hole, bro?
Well, I gotta try and make it my way back. You know.
Well, you did make your way back. You have a different with A. I'm just saying, you do have a different.
That is a potential. Well, I'm still be behind you though. I'm picking the same as you.
You know what? Don't be a little bitch. Go Seattle, Paris.
I'm going. No, hell no. I'm going Chicago, Paris. Chicago,
Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to pick, yeah, I mean, I picked Paris.
That's the only one that like still is reasonable, and I have to make points back. So.
Yeah, I would love to trust Seattle a little more, but I just got to see something in S&D.
The only thing that worries me too is like, well, first of all, congrats to Apathy and his wife. They just had their kids, but like you have to think about that as well. Like, you do have to think about that. Something you like. Also, something you have to think about.
What that is dad strength, bro. Dad strength.
Dad strength. Yes.
What a crazy time! Right. Wow, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. Congrats, App. We all love you. You're an incredible man.
Yes, we do.
We like that guy.
All right, and then what are we picking winners?
Picking overall winner.
So I already had to do this already. I'm going Chicago. I think the Dallas Chicago matchup for me is still just one-sided. And I think until Dallas beat them, I'm going to continue to pick Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I am picking Chicago. I think they're back on top.
This might be a dumb question. I should have looked at this before, but have Chicago and Minnesota played yet?
Yes, in Atlanta. In Chicago, 3-1 them.
Why do I not remember that matchup at all?
The only reason I know is because I literally had to do a prediction video, so it was 3-1.
Okay. I would like love, because I sort of like this just setting up for this dance between Huntsman and Faze. Faze just fell short. Now maybe Huntsman do. When do they play? Then in Chicago, which is the next event, right? End of April. That's when they be the same tournament. No, but I think Huntsman winning this actually sets it better. Faze fell short. Huntsman win it, then they match up. So I'm going Huntsman. I'm just trying to create this perfect story.
I have a question.
Storylines.
So I see what you guys are saying, and I agree, obviously, because the Huntsman matching up with Empire, I think it's pretty one-sided. Mm-hmm. I think Dallas has a little bit more confidence now. They get the win. You know, we just had that whole conversation. Now let's go back to the talk where I was talking about. So the whole Dallas onliners thing starts with Huntsman bitching about it online to the Empire.
Dallas
because
liners.
They couldn't beat him on online, but they could beat him on LAN. We're not on LAN anymore. Do you think that Chicago Huntsmen come to this match with that energy in the back of their minds that it is now online, and are they going to use it as a cop-out? Or do you think that now gets washed out and they truly believe that, you know what I'm saying, that like that's a bunch of BS and they go into it? Like, what do you
Here's the thing for me is that like Optic in like Chicago, like their team members in the past, especially like Scump and Formal, they've always had that team that they hated playing online type thing. But like the 2Ks and all that stuff that we used to watch, they always won the tournaments.
I agree.
And I just, I truly believe it's just a mindset thing. It's going into scrims and
it is.
You get BS'd once or twice and you're just like, I'm done, right? Like you watch Seth, like he just sort of looks at his screen, he looks at his chat, like he knows chat's going to gas him up, like, yeah, Scump, you're the king, that was bullshit. Like, that's what they're going to tell him. Like, that's what they're going to tell him.
That's right. Seth, you're the best in the chat, dude. Because that's his Twitch account, Seth, you're the best.
Yeah, dude, because that's how it is. Like, he looks over and says, yeah, bro, fucking that guy totally joked you. Like, on land, because all those players in the chat know what it's like to gun on land for sure, bro. But like they've all got a ton of land experience. They know what it's about. But you throw that out the window and they finally focus up. And I think search is a big part of it as well. I that's why I went with Chicago. So that's where I think he goes out.
Okay. I wanted to get that question out because the way
that's a good point. No, I didn't think of that. So
the way I think of it is like, yes, when you in scrims, you get on, you get BS'd a couple times, and you can chalk the entire scrim, and there's no consequences because it's scrims, right? And that's what people do it all the time, no matter how. No one's perfect. You have those days. So like, I totally see it. It's just like, yeah, I just really hope that energy doesn't come to these tournaments because it's a really lame mindset. I don't think it will because usually when you go to these 2Ks in like the past, the better teams usually win. Like you don't like see, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I think I totally see what you're saying. I kind of want to go out on a limb though and give it to Dallas because the confidence that they're riding on. I don't know if that's a smart one because I'm a big Huntsman fan. You know, I think they're a great team, but I kind of want to mix it up and give the Empire a little bit of an edge because they're just riding on some good confidence right now. Could I look like an idiot here in 5 days? Maybe. But maybe. I don't know.
That's an idiot move, but
I have
we'll see.
A few questions. Are players streaming their individual POVs? Is that allowed?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Cool. Do you guys think that all players on these teams are going to be in the same location to play online?
No. I don't think so.
So the teams that are maybe able to make that happen, or are they allowed? I don't really understand what the situation is with the coronavirus stuff.
I wouldn't see why not.
Like,
from what I know,
you guys know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I agree.
Yeah, like you go the hex quarters, right?
Yeah, like, or like, is Dallas all going to be at their HQ? Or
I wouldn't see why not.
I don't think it matters. I don't think you have to be in one location.
Okay, so my next point is like the team that is with each other will probably play better in theory, right? Maybe next to each other, gaming in a match.
I don't know.
Maybe that's like an intensity thing, right? But like,
yeah, you're all playing next to each other. I'm the type of player where I want to be next to my teammates, like during a match, whether it's I don't know how you.
No, I think both Dallas and Chicago probably both will use their.
So that was the point I wanted to bring up. How many teams are going to be playing right next to each other on a setup?
I think most. I would assume most.
You would assume most.
I think most have their own like game headquarters.
So I just wanted to bring that up. Sort of like I was curious to see what the rules are for like streaming and if they're going to be like with each other or not.
Most teams will. Yeah. I think most teams will.
Oh, you think so? This is pretty important stuff, right?
I just don't know.
Anyways, those are my two things I wanted to bring up. I'm going with the Dallas Liners. Let's go. I think they're gonna start off hot, getting everyone's heads. They're gonna keep riding that wave of confidence. They're gonna play up the whole online meme, whatever the hell you want to call it.
And, well, Clay's going.
They love.
Clay's going.
They eat that shit up. Yep. So I'm
going
with Dallas for the win.
It's probably one of the only events so far where it feels like a couple teams that can win. Like I know Atlanta.
I think
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Totally.
And I think what other event had. The only other event that had like maybe 2 or 3 you could pick would be Atlanta, which had Huntsman, Faze, and Minnesota. But I don't think back then we thought Minnesota could win an event. We thought that was basically just Huntsman versus Faze. The other events have all been clear pick of Huntsman or clear pick of Faze. This one, yeah. I mean, Chicago's a favorite, but I think we could see Rokkr. Empire or
I
Huntsman?
think it's gonna be Dallas Chicago final. It's gonna be mad close. I
think so too. I
think those teams are
first event, right?
So who'd you pick, Clint? Did you pick?
Yeah.
Chicago. I
thought you picked Chicago.
I think I did too. But yeah,
So we got 2 Dallas, 2 Chicago. Oh, we're a little split on predictions. Oh my goodness, who's gonna win?
I picked Chicago because I think it sets up for a showdown more.
Oh yeah, you want the storylines to line up
better in Chicago versus Faze. Yeah,
for sure. Alrighty. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Are we good?
I think that's it. We're excited to be back.
Fantastic.
The CDL is back.
We're
which means
back.
We're back.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch. I've been missing watching the matches, dude. You guys are gonna be. Oh man, you guys are gonna be casted, looking real good with your home setups. Wow.
I know I'm gonna look fucking terrible because I don't have
one last thing.
I don't have my wonderful friend and makeup lady Alyssa to do my makeup. I'm gonna look.
You need it.
Idiots.
Oh my god.
I know who's doing my makeup now. I'm gonna be powdering myself. I'm gonna look like
have Kat do your
Look
makeup.
how sweaty I look, dude. Look how
You're
sweaty
disgusting.
I look horrible. This is why I'm gonna look like a normal broadcast now. I don't have any of my wards.
Crowder, go.
Okay. One last thing before we go. Sorry, but I have to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Teams have been iced.
Ice.
So teams have been iced. We left LA. After LA, the season gets chalked for a little bit, right? We don't know what's going on. Is it online? Are we getting events? Blah, 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 blah. It gets announced online. Immediately, you see a bunch of pro players. Oh, the season's chalked. It's back online. You might as well retire. You know, like this like stupid comments, right? Mm-hmm. And you get that kind of like negative energy just for a little bit. It kind of clears over. Practice probably for those weeks that we didn't really know our schedule probably wasn't that serious. You know, teams started, Warzone comes out. You got a lot of Warzone tournaments. You got a lot of players and stuff missing practice just because like it's just more nonchalant right now. No one really knew what was going on. Do you think that affects anyone? Did teams get better? Did teams get worse?
I just think in general, in terms of as soon as they went on delay, I don't know how many teams stuck to a normal practice regimen, because with Warzone, with not knowing what's going on, like I have no idea how many kept like playing 4 to 5 nights a week. I really don't. I tuned into Chicago today, and they were playing Felony and Nagafin. Like,
yeah,
and that's kind of franchise teams.
I don't think we talked about that. And with what you're saying, so Maven, I heard you make a comment about it helps better teams. Does it, or does it help did the better teams get lazy, and then did the harder working shitty teams?
Well, I was more saying if we're saying everyone.
I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying like. Just because I personally think the 4 teams that are sitting out right now, which is our team and 3 other teams, I don't know, but we're like regardless.
Yeah,
it kind of is like a good thing and a bad thing. It sucks that obviously we haven't played since LA. Now we have to wait all the way to the end of April, which sucks. But at the same time, like we kind of just got the schedule announced on us, and they're like, yeah, next week you're playing an event, you better be ready. Where some of these teams might just not have been ready. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's listen. I don't know.
What do you think? This is a question. I'm not implying this.
There had to have been conversations with league owners.
There's no fucking way they just heard yesterday. There's no way.
I'm just wondering. I think it hurts a lot of people. I think it's a mindset thing.
I think it does. This is typically a point where, like, I don't know. If Minnesota kept practicing after LA the entire time,
that's what I'm saying.
100%, they could be in a better form and win this weekend. But we don't know.
Yeah. I was more thinking of
what you guys thought.
Well, when I made my comment, Chris, I was more thinking if Scrim's kind of slowed down for everyone, everyone's playing Warzone, Scrim's got a little more lackadaisical across the board, I think personally that would help the teams that were already ahead more. That's how I was viewing it. Like if everyone sort of just took a little break, it helps the teams that were ahead. That's what I would say.
So now my thing though is like a team like New York, I don't think they get lazy because they just made that roster change with Mac.
Good point.
Does it help them?
Maybe this is an opening for them.
What I'm saying, did they work their ass off? Because like I personally think New York got way better. My actual opinion on them, I think they've been playing great. So like, does that help them? You know, like I don't know. It was just a weird angle that just popped into my head.
No. If there were teams that were grinding a lot, then yeah, they could catch up. We don't really.
Yeah, and I think in
you
general,
have the most insight to that, Chris.
I mean, I don't obviously want to go too far into other people's business. I was just kind of curious. What you guys
I think in general, though, this sort of format, I think almost it's always sort of created that where like you could get lazy for a few weeks, and then there was gonna be teams during those few weeks that kept practicing and maybe caught up. Like I just think I just think that's how like longer seasons kind of are. There's teams that want to come out hot, like make a point, and then if they win it, I think of like Optic last year, right? Like they won Vegas and it just sort of felt like, I don't know. But yeah, I just think
coasted, I think is the word.
Yeah, coasted. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Coach TeeP. Shit. No.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting. I'm excited. Excited we're back.
Alrighty. Yep. So matches start Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Call of Duty League is back, and we're all excited about it. Thank you guys so much for listening / watching to the episode. Make sure you guys sub to each of our YouTube channels. You can see them on the screen there, and check us out on our live streams every single day. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.